I'm just doing a quick video. This is a knob from a blackface Fender amp. This is a twin reverb, 1966. This specific knob here, these are what they call a Snowman 8 set screw at 10 knob. And they run for about $35 to $75 a piece on Reverb and eBay, if you can even find them. Yeah, so this specific one here is stripped out. There's a set screw that inserts right up here by the 10, and this is just put on here like that. And then you tighten that set screw, and then makes it so you can turn the pot and adjust the value. So this specific one is stripped. Let me see if I can get like a real close up. Like there's just pot metal down in there. It's plastic on the outside. You can see plastic to about right there. And then when I tilt it, you see there's this metal bushing on the backside, and it just looks like a cheap casted aluminum. So two things. I'm gonna fix this today, but also a message for people with these amps, because I know people like to tighten stuff like these guys down till the veins pop out of their head. These are little 832 screws that go in here. You do not need to put the beans on them. I mean, just get it enough so that your knobs are, you know, they stay in position relative to the pot underneath. Okay, here's my game plan. I'm gonna take some Aquaphor and apply it to the outside of this, because I'm gonna attempt to do a repair with JB Weld. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fill this thing back up with JBL and then re-drill it and retap it. And so basically the JB Weld will provide the thread form inside of here and get it back to, can tighten the bolt. Obviously that's not as good as steel, or it may be as good as aluminum, to be honest. And this is casted aluminum. The properties are really bad on it. You'd never, if it was a structural application, you'd never thread into aluminum, period. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick, I have a little piece of a glove. Let me see if I can find that here. I'm gonna stick this into that, and I'm gonna put Aquaphor on the outside of this glove, and then just use this to block off that hole so it doesn't squirt into this bore right here. And then I'm gonna inject the JB Weld into this hole and fill it to the top. Now the Aquaphor on the outside of the button is gonna prevent the JB Weld from adhering to this outside surface. And then that way, when it's in there and it starts to cure, I'm gonna use this center finder basically, and I'll insert it in that hole, and it'll create a little divot at the center line. And then I'll be able to chase it with the drill down the bore. Drill it out, hopefully down the center, and then I'll retap it and reinstall it. Okay, I went ahead and smeared some Aquaphor. All this is petroleum jelly. So what this does, it contaminates this bonding surface. And so if I squirt this material and it spills over, I'm not gonna have a bunch of stuff that's never gonna come off on the outside. Okay, I got this little finger off a glove here. I got some of that Aquaphor on there now. And the reason I'm using this is because it's, the Q-tip is soft and it'll sort of adhere to the contour of the hole and prevent the JB Weld from flowing through, because I don't really want to get it in the bore. If it does, it's not a big deal. I could clean it out, but hopefully this will save me some work. You can see what's going on here. I think we're ready to rock and roll. So I got a little bit of JB Weld, part A. Looks like bird poop. And then I have this syringe here. I'm gonna attempt to suck some of this up. I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but I'm gonna try it. Let me try it real quick. Okay, this JB Weld, mix it 50-50. I'm gonna mix this for a little bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Okay, it works surprisingly well. I did get some on my number 10 there, but I was able just to wipe it off with another little Q-tip. All right, so, and I'm expecting that it's gonna just come right out of this other, in those little gaps there. I'll take something to scrape it out. It should be hardened by then. So I'm gonna take that center binder here to establish a center line of this hole. Okay, sorry about the lighting in here, guys. So I applied this about, I don't know, a few hours ago. It should be quick cure, usually 30 minutes. It's a function of temperature, humidity in the air, and a bunch of other stuff. This is a really old batch that I had out of my garage. I bought it at Harbor Freight some time ago. And one of the ways that you really check on this is you keep this guy here, and like wherever you mixed it, and then you can kind of feel to see if it's tacky or if it's fully hard. And so this is just taking a long time to cure. I'm gonna put this in some warm place. Obviously you don't want to expose this to any heat because these knobs will start to discolor. They turn like a weird gray color. And you could also run the risk of having the paint peel off or starting to warp. So don't get it very hot, but I'm talking maybe, you know, like 100, 120 degrees, and it'll help accelerate the cure. So I'm gonna wait until this is like fully hard before I go to the next step, and which is drilling. Also, okay, all the stuff is dry now. You can see it's hardened. Okay, so this is a good little coupon you can make rather than screw around with the epoxy that winds up in this hole. Because if this is wet, you disturb it, you could wind up causing a different issue. So this is a 832 fastener here. I'm gonna drill it out with a 1/8 inch drill bit, and then I'm going to go full size. For 832 fastener, they asked for a number 29 drill bit, which, see these drill bits, they go 1 to 60. There's also letter drill bits, and then there's fractional. And so they're all a little bit different. These correspond to gauge diameters for wires. Depending on the hole size that exists that you're trying to drill out, you got to drill the right hole, or it won't. Either your threads may have issues, either being underformed or overformed when you do the tapping. So I need two hands to drill this. So I'm gonna do it off camera. I'm just using this little jig here to help me hold this so I can get the hole started. You don't need anything like this, but I just took a little metal dowel that's 1/4 inch that fits in here. Okay, I went ahead and drilled my pilot hole. That's a 0.125 pilot hole. The reason why pilot holes are important is because it takes the pressure off the drill point, and so you use a small bit to try to establish the center. And then this looks like it's pretty close to being on center, that hole. If it's not, what it'll do is bump into the side of that aluminum part, and it'll push the bit over and straighten itself out. Might not be perfect, but as long as I wind up with the right diameter, set screw will fit after it gets tapped. Okay, I went ahead and full size that hole, so this is what it looks like now. Looks very centered. I don't believe I removed any metal. It looked like it was all plastic from the JB Weld. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and tap this out now with the 832, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I got it tapped out now. See, from the inside, I went ahead and ran it all the way till the point touched the other side of the hole. Without applying pressure, I don't want to rip those threads out again. But yeah, the set screw should fit back in there now. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put that set screw in here. You can see the thread forms inside that hole. They're nice and formed now. Okay, there's my button. I'm gonna try to do this on camera. So I'm gonna tighten this guy up. Okay, I'm just using finger pressure here. Not getting crazy on it. Okay, right there. Back in business. These are weird how they never kind of line up. I want the one to line up. It actually feels pretty tight when I tighten that with the screwdriver. It, you know, I'm getting plenty of resistance. It didn't feel like weak, like it was going to tear out. So, for what it's worth, anyway, this is the method that I just used to fix this thing. You know, there's a little bit of epoxy in here. I'm going to continue to try to work on that to try to get it out. I don't think it's bonded to the surface. I think it's just in place there because that surface was protected. But anyway, I'll work on it. But this is, I'm calling this a success here. I saved this button. This would have cost me 35 to 75 bucks. And so it was trash before, and now it's working, which is good. got this back installed here, and it's very tight. The thread here, when it's installed in that set screw, if the threads feel reliable, they don't feel like they're plastic and they're going to tear out. Really all we did was just add a little bit material to the existing threads to create more of an interference so you don't wind up turning out. And it's just probably a couple thousands of material in there. But this feels a lot better now and saved me from having to buy another dial. Anyway, it's a good way to fix these. I've had a couple of these on some of my amps have issues, and you know, you really want to preserve the Snowman dials. This is what they call Snowman 8. You see how the top circle's smaller than the big circle? They had a different design in the late 60s, early 70s, where the 8 was, both the loops were the same diameter. And they also had another one where the set screw was on the 1 position, I think, and that was later 70s. So anyway, these are the ones that are kind of hard to get, hard to come by. And so if you could fix one and keep one in service, that's always a good thing. Anyway, that is all I have for this. I just wanted to show you me doing this repair and how I went about doing it, and hopefully it saves somebody else a little bit of hassle. One of the things I will say about this is be fairly liberal when you apply petroleum jelly to this, especially down here in these little grooves, because some of that crap is still in there. You can't really see it with a naked eye, but here I'm using my camera under magnification. You can still see a little bit of residue. The residue around the hole, I think there's nothing you're gonna be able to do about that, but mainly inside of these grooves here on the where your fingers interface with the dial. Anyway, that's all I got. Appreciate it.